guys, welcome to my channel. This is Amber. Today we're going to be talking about birth and my birth story, basically what happened from the start to the finish and my experience. If you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and keep watching for more videos. Thanks guys. Overdue, and I was really stressed out. I remember I was like trying to do squats and just like run and like, well, not really run, but I guess jog to just like get things moving. Trail walks with my oldest and my youngest, and we would try to just do a lot of activities to just kind of try to like get everything going. And basically what happened was, one day on the weekend I was at the mall. It was a Sunday, and I'm feeling so much like tightness, and I'm having a lot of weird pain, and I was wondering like what is going on. Is this contraction? After like 10-20 minutes I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely contractions, and I really feel like I should go to the hospital. So I am a single mom, and I had support from my mother, so I called her and she came and took me to the hospital. So then I went in to do a urine sample, and I was right away at 6 centimeters dilated, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I'm already at 6 centimeters. I wanted to have a epidural, and I was just really freaked out because I hadn't felt like that amount of pain without having the epidural, or without like already it being like hours that I was already at the hospital, like with my oldest, because it took so long to happen. So I was really freaking out, and I was very thankful for my mom because she just like would help me breathe, and she told me to like stay calm. Basically they were just kind of like waiting for me to be able to get moved. And then what happened was I was told that there was actually the anesthesiologist, and she was ready, because they had told me at first that, oh, you're gonna have to wait a while. Came in with the epidural, and I was breathing through the pain with my mom. She was a lifesaver. She really helped me to stay focused. I had the epidural, and I was starting to feel a lot of relief. Or we're gonna break your water because we want things to move along faster for you, otherwise we're just gonna be kind of like waiting around and your waters haven't broken by itself. So they took the metal hook that they have to just kind of tear at the waters, and my waters broke. And then they were looking at the waters, and they were kind of like giving each other strange looks, and I was just like, oh, what's like, why are you guys giving those looks to each other? But they were just like, oh, like we noticed that there's meconium, which is the baby's first stools in the waters, which always means that there is distress of the baby. And all of a sudden doctors were being paged, and there was like a code. I don't know what the code was, but like, how they say code blue or like code white, or it was like really serious. And all of a sudden all these doctors and nurses came flooding into my hospital room, and I was so freaked out. I just remember thinking like, please don't tell me that there's something happening to my baby, like something bad's happening. And I was asking like, what's going on, and my mom just looked like she was trying to keep it together, but I was just so worried that I think she was just trying to be strong for me. And they had a fetal heart monitor hooked up to my baby internal. It was like beeping and making a whole bunch of sounds, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh my goodness, like what is happening? And they said, they're like, well, during every contraction that you're having, your baby's heartbeat is dipping down to 50 beats per minute, when without my contractions my baby's heartbeat was at 150 beats. So it decreased so dramatically that it was really distressing my child. And they were saying that basically something inside, probably the umbilical cord, was going around my baby's throat, while I was having each contraction, and it was just getting worse. And they were like, you know, you're only still like 6 centimeters dilated, so we have to get your baby out like immediately, because this is gonna cut off oxygen supplies to your baby's brain. And actually had me get up onto all fours on the hospital bed to have the like cord kind of looser around my baby's throat. And it was really crazy. I feel like instantly, and immediately it did affect my baby's heartbeat. I mean, it wasn't better, it was better than before. It kind of like lessened. It was probably at like 70 beats per minute, which still isn't the best. So then we were waiting for the operating room because they were all full, and I was just like, please, like, I don't know what's going on. This is like, every second that went by, it just made me feel like it was hours, and I was so scared, and I was so happy that my mom was there. Finally, they were just like, okay, like, I think there is a room that's getting clean right now. You can get in pretty soon. They wheeled me through the halls, and I'm still on all fours. Quite an interesting, humbling experience. So I'm getting wheeled into the room. I'm feeling so shaky, and the pain is starting to kind of come back. Like, it felt like the contractions were being felt way more easily. I don't know if it's because of my positioning or what happened, because they did give me the epidural and it wasn't that long in between. So I was complaining of more pain. I was telling them, like, you know, I'm really suffering from this. This really hurts. And they were just trying to calm me down and say like that they're gonna give me medicine. But because it was such a dramatic decrease in my baby's heart rate, they decided to just pump me up with more meds through the epidural. So I go into the operating room, and I'm feeling so much like adrenaline, and I'm just feeling kind of like, I want to do this. Let's get my baby out. I want my baby to be healthy. I want everything to be okay.
Cut me open. I don't care.
I just don't want to feel it. And they're giving me the medicine, and I just remember the doctor saying, I'm going to test your numbness to see if you can feel this in your leg. And I didn't see what it was because I was just like lying down, and then the doctor's like, did you feel that? And I was like, no, what happened? And he was like, I just took these scissors and I kind of just pinched your leg. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, like maybe you didn't do it hard enough. And he was like, no, you would definitely have felt what I just did. And I was like, okay, well, that's great. I'm glad that I didn't feel it then. And then it kind of freaked me out because I was like, I'm probably really, really numb. And I could start to feel like the medicine kind of swimming up towards like my arms. And I know epidurals aren't supposed to go up that high, or at least they have it before in my body. And I was kind of like freaking out because I was like, why am I feeling the epidural like rushing like to my arms? And then slowly I could feel the epidural, like the numbness just going up to my neck. And I was like, I was starting to get like panicky, and I was just like, all of a sudden I started to like feel really shaky. And this was not like just like a little bit of shakiness like when you're like hungry and you have low blood sugar, or like if you're just like mad or something. This was like, I was like shaking out of control. Like they actually had to hold my arm down because I was like gonna hit somebody. And I just remember thinking, like, I hope this is normal because this never happened to me last time. But I know like they pumped me up with medicine really fast. But then I started to think like, what if they overdosed me and I like having a bad reaction? And I was just shaking so badly, and they had to hold me down basically the whole time because my teeth were chattering, and it was like starting to actually really hurt my jaw, and my teeth were just like clashing together. So beautiful. Although I really didn't care about that at the time. And then I just remember the doctor saying, that they were already getting my baby out, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know you guys started. So that's kind of creepy. And by the time like I was shaking at like my worst, they were like, okay, we're like just sewing you up right now. And I was just like, okay, like when is this shaking gonna stop? I'm still waiting. And I was just like, well, can I please see my baby? And then they were like, yeah, we're just like getting him cleaned up. And I didn't really hear him crying. And I was like, okay, like is my baby okay? And they're like, yes, he's okay, but they're just like, he's looking really white, and he needs to be like on special machines to help him with his breathing. So they basically just said like, we're gonna bring your son into the NICU. And I was like, okay, like I just really want to see my son. And I just really felt like after all of that I really just needed to see him. And I've been waiting for that moment for so long that I was like, I don't want to delay it anymore. And so they brought him over to me, and I was just like so in love. He was so beautiful, and it was just such a special moment. But it was bittersweet because like he was healthy, or at least like he came out and he was like alive, which was crazy because I hadn't been sure that he would be. And like, but he had to be taken away, and I was still shaking so violently that it was a really hard moment. And seeing him color or like life, he seemed so lifeless to me that it was really, really scary. And so basically I just got a chance to kiss him on his forehead and then say goodbye to him because I was still laying on the operating table, and they took him out and I was getting sewn up. And then they finished sewing me up, and then they wheeled me out of the operating room, and they wheeled me through the NICU, and then they wheeled me into this waiting kind of a room after the operation. I guess they just wanted to have me like wait it out and just like get the meds out of me because I was shaking so violently. And they had people checking on me, making sure like that my heart rate was okay, my blood pressure was okay, and they just kept telling me the shaking's normal, but I honestly really didn't feel like it was normal. And they were giving me like pain meds, but they were giving me some sort of medicine to just kind of like X out the itchiness, because I started feeling super itchy, and that was a really weird sensation. But I remember having that as well with my little one, like my 3-year-old, because I also had an epidural with her. And I did not have an epidural with my oldest, but with Ariella, my 3-year-old, I felt the same kind of feeling. But I feel like because they gave me so much more medicine, that the itchiness was like so intensified that I just felt like I wanted to rip my skin off, and it was really uncomfortable. So between that and shaking, it was definitely anything far from the experience that I thought I was gonna have giving birth to my baby boy. And after I was there for about an hour and a half, they finally said, okay, like let's go back to your hospital room, you can just go there and rest. And I was just like, I want to see my baby, I really want to see him. But they were like, no, you'll see him, like we just need you to go rest for a bit. And it was getting later and later, and finally it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, you know, this is ridiculous, like I just want to see my baby. So they're like, okay, yeah, we can get you and you can go into the NICU. And then I just got wheeled into the NICU, and I fell in love with my son. He is beautiful, and he is totally healthy now, and he has actually excelled in his weight and his height. He is way above the average, because I know that's not always the case for other people. So I'm really glad that I can share this with you guys. If you guys did enjoy this birth story of my baby boy, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and I'll get you guys videos that you like watching. And if you want to leave me comments and let me know what you thought of this video, if you want to see more parenting videos or more videos about my life as a single mom, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Bye.